Hello everyone, I'm back. It's been a long time, but I finally just decided to start making videos again. Uh, there is a lot of stuff that I've picked up over the last few months that I've not shown on the channel yet that I want to. I also want to do all of my collection again that I usually do every year. I might do top 10s, but as of recording this, it's the middle of February, so it might be a bit late, so I don't think people would be that interested. I suppose I could do top 10 excited, anticipated for this year. Uh, but there's a lot here to show. What you see in the thumbnail is a very small fraction of what I've actually got to show. So just warning, this video is going to be long. I've got a lot. I actually did record a video before Christmas, but I just decided to start fresh, show everything, because it messed it up a bit because I then made a video at the start of the year to go in front of that video, and I would have had to make another video after that because it was just too long ago. So I just decided to start fresh and show you all my pickups that I've got over the last few months. There's a lot of them. They range. I've started getting a lot of American imports in. So I'd say half of it is probably American imports. There are a few German, not many because they're probably from before, early November, before just after I did my last video. There's 4Ks, not loads. Most of them are new releases. I've got some normal Blu-ray new releases, lots of television. I decided to get buying lots of HBO shows that I've not seen yet, and just lots of other stuff. I'm going to try and do it in an order of when I bought it or what I bought together, just so it makes more sense. But I'm actually going to start with the 4Ks this time. I know I usually do Blu-rays, but the 4Ks are the least amount that I've got, surprisingly. So yeah, I'll just get started. I won't chat any longer. So first up, I got this one with some Christmas money that I got. It's one that I missed at the cinema early last year, and everyone had it on the end of the year film lists. I've not seen any of this filmmaker's other films because I just wasn't interested in them, but this one caught my interest because of just what it's about. I've still yet to watch it, but I will hopefully watch it soon, and that is The Northman, which is obviously Robert Eggers, and it stars Alexander Skarsgård, Anya Taylor-Joy, Nicole Kidman, Ethan Hawke, Willem Dafoe, Claes Bang, probably many more as well. Nope, that's pretty much all that was on the front cover. Um, but yeah, it's a Viking film. I'm interested in seeing what it's like, and I've heard really good things about it. So I'll check that one out soon. I've seen the first one of this, and I really liked it. And I'm trying to get as many Eddie Murphy films in the collection as I can because he's one of my favourite comedic actors. So I decided to get the 48 Hours 2 movie collection on 4K. I've seen the first one, as I say, a while ago, so I need to probably rewatch it before watching the second one, which I haven't seen. But yeah, they're fun 80s action films, and were what basically started Eddie Murphy's comedic career in acting. Next up, got Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I waited and waited and waited to get this because it's one of my least favourite. In fact, I would say there are only two films in phase. What was the last phase? Phase 4, I think. Um, of the MCU that I liked, and that's Shang-Chi and Spider Man. All the others I have very mixed feelings of, so I'm waiting. Um, Teaser for whenever I do my next video. I have got another one since like literally I ordered it yesterday. It's due to arrive tomorrow. So that'll be in my next one. I won't tell you which one it is, but obviously it's only going to be one of two. But yeah, so I decided to get that in the collection because I want all the MCU films, and I got it pretty cheap. Next up, a lot of people's film of the year from last year, Top Gun Maverick. I believe I got to think because my top 10 constantly changes still because I keep having different thoughts because there were a lot of good films last year. But I'm pretty sure this is solidified in my top 3. It goes between this, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Glass Onion. But I also, The Woman King kind of also gets in there almost for me because those were films I just loved from last year. But yeah, this is probably the biggest blockbuster film from last year. Just really entertaining, really good, feel good film. Next up, I got Pulp Fiction. I'm trying to get all of Tarantino's films on 4K. I know Reservoir Dogs is out there, but I'm probably going to have to get it imported from America. But it's not much different in price than if it was out here on standard 4K. It's about £20 on eBay to import it. So I'll probably do that maybe next month. But it's not one that I've not seen yet, and I have got on Blu-ray, so I'm waiting because I might watch it on Blu-ray first. I'm sure I'll like it anyway, but I do really like Tarantino. The only film I didn't really like from him so far was Kill Bill. I've only seen the first one. I've not seen the second one yet. But I kind of lost interest in that one. But this is one of my favourites, so I definitely have to grab that on 4K. Next up, we have Nope, which was also in my top 10 from last year, and I have rewatched this since getting it on 4K. Really love this. Very different from Jordan Peele. Wasn't what I was expecting, and I just loved it. I'm not going to go into any details if you've not seen it, because it's best to go in knowing nothing about it like I did, because you'll just appreciate it so much more doing so. So yeah, Nope. I'm not sure if I've shown this one because I actually, if I'm being honest, can't remember when I got it. But The Kingsman, actually really like this as far as prequels go. This was pretty good. It wasn't high for expectations for me, but I had a lot of fun with it, and I thought Ralph Fiennes was excellent in the film. But yeah, as I said, I can't remember if I've shown it or not. Can't even remember when I got it. Next up is Kick-Ass, which came out on 4K here towards the end of last year. In fact, I think it was on New Year's Eve, I think it came out, or the 30th last year. And I hadn't seen it for a very, very long time, so I watched it pretty much as soon as I got it, and it's just a great film. Great comic book film. It's one of the first that was kind of like doing what Deadpool has done. It's like broke through and like really gritty, and I really appreciated it. Next up, we have Goodfellas, which I had to get on 4K because it's just a fantastic film, probably in my top 20 films, and it was cheap, and I didn't. It was one that I had been waiting and waiting and waiting to get on 4K, and I finally pulled the trigger. I think it was on offer in the Christmas sales, like the next one that I'm going to show. So yeah, and the next one is, I think, the final film I had to get for the MonsterVerse as of yet, and that is Godzilla, 2014's Godzilla. Yeah, I really like this. I think it's good. Really like Bryan Cranston in this. Aaron Taylor Johnson is really good in this as well. So yeah, I was really glad to get this one. As I say, it was the last one. I've got all of the MonsterVerse films now, so I should probably rewatch them soon. Before next year when the new one comes out, certainly. Next up, we have Don't Worry Darling, which I'm noticing still got the sticker on the back. Yeah, a lot of people didn't like this one, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was entertaining. I liked the twist. Yeah, it was quite predictable, but I just enjoyed it. I thought it was alright. Harry Styles isn't great, I know. But yeah, I like these sorts of films, a bit like Stepford Wives-ish, but a different sort of twist. Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it for what it was. So yeah, got that one. Then again, I got this in the sale, Death on the Nile. It was definitely a step down from Murder on the Orient Express, but I still liked it. It still had the cast. Yeah, I definitely appreciated this one. And I'm looking forward to the third one, A Haunting in Venice, which is due out in September. Next up, another one of my films from last year that I loved, Bullet Train. Brad Pitt, David Leitch. Just loved this film. Just really entertaining film. If you're looking for an entertaining night, I definitely recommend this one. A lot of comedy in it, a lot of really good action in it, and just a great story, great characters. So yeah, really love that one. Another one that was very mixed from people for last year, but I really loved it. At the time it came out, it jumped to my favourite film, but this was early on last year. This was in February, probably about a year ago, to be honest. I went to see this. It's a Michael Bay film, and it is Ambulance. I'm probably a bit biased because Jake Gyllenhaal is my favourite actor, so I probably liked it more than most did because of that. But I just thought it was just a great action romp. Yeah, the story wasn't amazing, but you can't really expect a great story from Michael Bay anymore. but you can count on the action with him. And yeah, I did enjoy this one. Then most recent Pixar films, I got Turning Red and Lightyear. Turning Red, I didn't love at all. I watched it on Disney Plus and wasn't impressed. Again, I'm trying to be a completionist. I didn't hate the film. I probably would watch it again, but I just didn't love it. It did disappoint me quite a bit. But this was really cheap. This was under 10 quid, so I had to grab it. And then Lightyear, I loved. Obviously, not as much as the Toy Story films. As of recording this, they've just announced Toy Story 5, which I think is wrong. I don't think they need to keep churning them out, but I suppose as long as they're making money, they're going to anyway, regardless of what people think. But yeah, I like this. I like what Chris Evans did voice-wise. Yeah, it's a good film. And the final 4K was one that I watched in the cinema a long time ago now, but it was a cool little action thriller, and that is Anna. You had Luke Evans, Cillian Murphy, Helen Mirren. Yeah, it was a good action film. Luc Besson, I think this was the last film, or at least last mainstream film he directed. And yeah, it was a fun action film. So that's all that. I'll show you German imports next, because there's only 3 of them. So first one, which I've still not seen yet, is Thank You for Your Service. Couldn't find this anywhere. It's not been released on any format in England as far as I'm aware. I don't even know if it came to cinemas here. So I just typed in if it was on Blu-ray in eBay, and the German import came up, so I ordered it because it's one I'm interested in. I really like Miles Teller. I'm guessing this is a newish Blu-ray, so it may not have been out long, because on the back it says Miles Teller Top Gun Maverick, so it might have only come out last year on Blu-ray. So but yeah, I'm looking forward to checking that one out. Next up we have Respect, which is the Aretha Franklin biopic. I really like this. Again, it's a shame they never released this on Blu-ray here, because I like my biopics, and as far as biopics go, I thought this was really good, and I thought Jennifer Hudson did a really good job. And then we have Top Secret, which yeah, I watched this a long time ago, before I watched The Naked Gun, and yeah, I really liked it. It's a good spoof film on spies, and Val Kilmer's really good in it. I think this was one of his first films. So yeah, Top Secret. Now I think I'm going to get into the UK Blu-rays, starting with one that I'd not seen for a long time, one of my favourite childhood films, and I rewatched this last night actually, and that is Mrs. Doubtfire. Probably one of the best Robin Williams films for me personally. Very rewatchable, very funny, and just like I say, one that I grew up with during childhood. Next one is one which I was kind of shocked when they announced that this was coming to Blu-ray, because it's a very niche indie film, and I actually watched this whilst I was away in York last year in December, and then I ordered it on Blu-ray because I saw it's coming out, so it was a bit random, but it was a good story. Again, another biopic, and that is called Music Within, and it stars Ron Livingston, Michael Sheen, and Melissa George. Yeah, it was an entertaining film. It's about a man who's hearing impaired, and he's basically fighting for disabled rights back in, I think it's the 70s and 80s, and he becomes friends with a man who's got cerebral palsy, and he's the only one that can really understand him. I thought it was a really good film. It's not too long either. It's only like an hour and a half, so yeah, I'd recommend this one if you've not heard anything about it. It's definitely one worth a try, and I think I bought it for about 12 quid because it's like a niche film, so it didn't come out full price for Blu-ray. Next is one that I got up in York, Missing Link, which is Leica's most recent film, featuring voices from Hugh Jackman, Zoe Saldana, and Zach Galifianakis. Really like this one. Good animated film and a good story. Yeah, so I wanted to get that one. Next I got Minions: The Rise of Gru. As far as sequels go, I enjoyed this one. It was okay. It's short. It's only like an hour, just under an hour and a half. And yeah, it's fun. It's not great, but it's a worthy sequel, I would say. Next up, another fantastic film that won 5 Oscars. Terms of Endearment. I believe this is out of print, and I found this in CEX and got it as part of a Christmas present. Really loved this. It was nominated for 11 Oscars. Obviously, you've got Shirley MacLaine, Deborah Winger, and Jack Nicholson. You've also got Danny DeVito, John Lithgow, and Jeff Daniels in this. Just a fantastic film. Definitely recommend you checking that one out if you've not seen it already. Then we have Ticket to Paradise, which is the newest rom-com from George Clooney and Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts, one of my favourite actresses. George Clooney, one of my favourite actors. Love this film. Not much else I can say about that. And then we have Where the Wild Things Are, which I remember going to this cinema to see when it first came out. But I couldn't remember anything about it because obviously I was very young. Very different film. Obviously I couldn't remember anything about it. Very imaginative. It was good, but not great, and not one that I would revisit very often, but I appreciated it nonetheless. Then we have Wind River, a film by Taylor Sheridan, written and directed by him, and stars Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen. Love this film. Great thriller. If you've not seen it, highly recommend it. One of the best films the year it came out. Just a great story, great characters. Cinematography's great. Just absolutely love that film. And then this one was definitely a blind buy. It's probably the only foreign language film I've got in my collection. I watched it as soon as it came and I actually really liked it, and that is Decision to Leave, which is a film by Park Chan-wook, and is basically about a detective that gets involved with the widow of a man whose death he is investigating, but not everything is as it seems, as you would expect from a detective story. It was just really good. There was comedy in here, which is different to comedy that we're used to. I just really appreciated it. I just thought it was a very clever and well done film. And yes, one I'll definitely watch again. Next up we have Entebbe, which I think I saw when it came out. Another biopic, and I really was interested in this one. I really liked it. It's a good thriller. About like hostages in an airport in Entebbe in Uganda that have been like taken hostage by Idi Amin, who was the dictator back then. Yeah, really interesting film. Then we have a few comedies, well, a comedy should I say. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Absolutely loved this film. I hadn't seen it before. I watched it a few weeks ago. Couldn't stop laughing. It's just hilarious. Steve Martin especially, just when he's playing I can't remember his character's name. He's pretending to be someone, and he's it's hilarious. You just got to watch it. It is hilarious. Just some of the situations they get in. Really good comedy. Then we have Field of Dreams, which I actually do technically own on 4K on iTunes, but I wanted it physically, and it's cheap. So I went ahead and bought it. Love this film. Then I also got Destroyer with Nicole Kidman, which I remember seeing at the cinema again. And yeah, it's a good, decent thriller. Nicole Kidman gives a really good performance. Told you there was still quite a lot to go. So if you want a break and come back, do whatever. But I'm going to carry on, power through till the end. Next up, another comedy, Spaceballs. I was expecting to really like this one, and it did kind of disappoint me. I didn't find it that funny. I actually got quite bored. I'll be honest with you, I fell asleep towards the end, and that's bad because it's only an hour and a half. It might just be that Mel Brooks comedy isn't for me, because I know some people don't like Mel Brooks comedy. I'll give it a go again in the future, but yeah, was a bit disappointed with that one. Next up is Confessions of a Shopaholic. Why did I get this one? I don't know. But actually it was a decent film. It's a chick flick, I suppose. And sometimes I like them. It's a Disney film as well. Well, Touchstone. And yeah, it was alright. It was decent. Next up we have Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Really good action film. Really short as well. Tight on time. And it's just good. It's classic. Then we have another one that I remember going to the cinema to see, Real Steel. Love this film. Hugh Jackman's great in it. Yeah, definitely recommend that one. Then we have The Light Between Oceans, which I remember watching when it came out, which was a long time ago now. We're talking 6 years ago, give or take. Yeah, it's a good film. You've got Michael Fassbender, Alicia Vikander, Rachel Weisz. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to checking that one out again. And then we have London Has Fallen. Now I have all the Has Fallen films, so I'll probably rewatch them again. I like this one. I think it's pretty good. It's middle of the road. I mean, I haven't seen the first one in a long time, so like I say, probably need to rewatch them before I rate them again. But they're a lot of fun action films. Next up, we have Long Shot with Seth Rogen and Charlize Theron. Really good romantic comedy. Probably the best in recent years for me. Found it really funny, really heartwarming, and just really entertaining overall. Next up, we have I, Tonya with the HMV exclusive Slit. I don't think I've seen this since the cinema. Obviously, Alison Janney won an Oscar for her performance in this. And, excuse me, it was just a really good film. Really interesting because I knew nothing about Tonya Harding before. And yeah, just an interesting film. Next up, I'm not sure if I've shown this one, but this is the Westerns collection. I got this for one specific film because it's the one film of these films that isn't released individually on Blu-ray, and it's the one that I wanted because it has Clint Eastwood in, and that is Pale Rider. And you also get The Wild Bunch, Rio Bravo, How the West Was Won, and The Searchers. And I got this for about £7, so I was pretty happy with that. Then we have another Clint Eastwood film, Where Eagles Dare. Another one that I haven't seen yet, but I've heard good things about. I believe it's who directed it? Brian G. Hunt. I think this came out the year after, or no, the year before Kelly's Heroes. So yeah, similar sort of thing. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. Next up, we have Amsterdam, which was okay. Definitely not the best David O. Russell film, but I didn't hate it as much as a lot of people do. I thought it was okay, as I say. Not like that rewatchable, but rewatchable enough to have it in my collection. Then we have Grosse Point Blank, another one I've not seen that I've wanted to watch for a while. You got John Cusack, Minnie Driver, Dan Aykroyd, Alan Arkin. So yeah, I'll be checking that one out soon, hopefully. I'll reach over to get these. Next up, we have When Harry Met Sally. Great romantic comedy. I had it on DVD and just decided that it was worth upgrading it. Then we have The Bodyguard, another really great Kevin Costner film. I actually, honestly, for a long time thought I already had this on Blu-ray, but it turns out I've only got it on DVD. So I got it in like buy two get one free on the Entertainment Store on eBay, and I got this, I think, When Harry Met Sally, and another one which I can't. Oh, I think it was Overboard. Spoiler. But yeah, that's The Bodyguard. Wonder Park, animated film, looks sweet. Got random voice cast in it. You got Joe Sugg, who I think is a vlogger, Casper Lee, who I've never heard of, and Tom Baker. So, as I say, very random voice cast. But yeah, I'll check it out. Next up, a classic that I've not seen, Raging Bull with De Niro. I've heard really good things about this. It's also a Scorsese film, so this is one that I really should push to the top of my watch list. Then we have Red Joan, which is Judi Dench, and just sounds interesting about a woman that worked in MI5 during university, or was working with the Russians or something during university, something like that. Just sounded a bit interesting to me. Then we have Tolkien, which is obviously about the man who wrote The Lord of the Rings, J.R.R. Tolkien, played by Nicholas Hoult, so just sounds like an interesting watch. Then, as I've already said, Overboard, which I've not seen, another one that I want to watch soon because it looks good, looks funny, always good to have a laugh as well. And War Games, another one that I've not seen from the 80s with Matthew Broderick. So yeah, I'm glad to get that in the collection. Bear with me a second, I just checked because I just realised that I think I've forgotten a few. Only forgot a handful, so I'll show them now as well, because they were in the drawers in front of me for some reason. So we've got The Informer, which is a decent thriller. Got Joel Kinnaman, Rosamund Pike, Clive Owen. It was a decent thriller, and it was cheap, so I got that one. Hotel Artemis, really loved this film, got a really good cast. One that I actually do want to watch again soon because, it's, as I said, it's just got a mental cast. I mean, you've got Jodie Foster, Dave Bautista, Jenny Slate, Brian Tyree Henry, Sterling K. Brown, Jeff Goldblum. Just a stacked cast, and I remember having a lot of fun with it in the cinema. Then we've got The House, which I know is not a great film, but I like Will Ferrell, and again, it was cheap, so I just decided to get it. Then we have Cafe Society, which is a Woody Allen film. I think it's the only Woody Allen film I've actually watched, and I enjoyed it. I mean, you've got Jesse Eisenberg, Steve Carell, Kristen Stewart, Corey Stoll, Blake Lively. Got good cast, so yeah, I thought I'd get that one. Then we have The Negotiator, with Kevin Spacey and Samuel L. Jackson. One from the 90s that I've not seen yet. Looks like a good thriller to me, so one I'll probably watch soon. Then we have two more Clint Eastwood films. These are the last of the standard Blu-rays. We have Heartbreak Ridge, which looks like a good war film from the 80s. And we have Tightrope, which looks like a detective film. Excuse me. Again, early 80s. Set in New Orleans. So yeah, I'll be checking that one out as well. I think next I will go to TV. As you can see, I've got a rather large stack for TV. Which way should I go? I'll go this way. So first up we have Lovecraft Country, starring Jonathan Majors, who is obviously in Ant-Man, the new Ant-Man, which I've literally just come back from watching. Say, really good. Best MCU film since Spider-Man for me. Also got Jurnee Smollett, Courtney B. Vance, and the late great Michael K. Williams, who's a great character actor. One that I've not seen, a HBO series that I was interested in, and it was cheap, so I got that one from Amazon. Then I got Mildred Pierce with Kate Winslet. Came in this really, really bizarre, like, kind of book thing, and the disc is loose. Both the discs are loose, I think. No, just one disc is loose. It's broken, the case. So I'm going to try and not move it around too much. But yeah, it's a drama series, 5-part series. Also got Guy Pearce, who obviously she was in Mayor of Easttown with. And I think it's based on a film from the 50s with Joan Crawford, I believe. So yeah, I'll check that one out. Then we have Perry Mason, which I absolutely love. The second series is coming out next month. So it's just one that I just wanted to add to the collection because I just think it's a really great show. Then we have Peacemaker, which I think I saw the first 3 or 4 episodes of, but I forgot to finish, to be honest. I just had too much else to watch. So I thought I'd get it because it was a good price, and I can finish it in my own time then. Then we have The Outsider, which is a mini-series that I've watched recently. Really good. It's really dark, quite hard to watch, and I'll be honest, it's probably one I'll never go back to again because it's a very difficult and hard watch. But fantastic performances from everyone, especially Ben Mendelsohn. Paddy Considine's really good in this. Jason Bateman's in this as well. He's really good. He directs a few episodes as well. So I would definitely recommend watching this if you've not seen it, but it is probably a one-time watch for me. Then we have The Night Of, which is another limited series with Riz Ahmed and John Turturro, about prison and the justice system. I think I saw the first episode when it came out, but never watched any more. And again, this was about £3 on eBay, so I added that to the collection. Then, where am I going to go next? I'll go to this one next. Watchmen. Again, it was a series I started, but I never finished. So now I've got it. I can go back to it in my own time because I did really enjoy what I saw of it. And then we've got big, bulky series, 3 of each. I'll go with these first. So we have True Detective Season 1 with Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey. With the 4th series coming this year at some point with Jodie Foster, I thought I'd get them so I can watch them before that comes out. Then obviously you've got Season 2, which has got Vince Vaughn, Colin Farrell, Taylor Kitsch, Rachel McAdams. And Series 3 with Mahershala Ali. Yeah, again, that looks good. And then the other series I got which I got after they announced it had been cancelled, which I had started getting into last year, and just thought these were like 10 quid each, and I'll get the fourth one when it goes down in price. But I got Westworld Season 1, Season 2, and Season 3. As I say, they were about 10 quid each, and I know I'll watch them and I know I'll enjoy them. But yeah, it's a shame that they cancelled it, because from what I hear, it is a very good series, and what I've seen, it is. So that's all the TV. I'll get into the American imports now, and I'll try and go as quickly as I can, because this video is already going past the half an hour mark, and I don't want to drag it out any longer than it has to be. So, a few of these I should say rather, don't play. And they don't play because I did get a region free player, so say from Amazon. It came, it says on Amazon region free Blu-ray player. It came, set it up, wouldn't change the regions at all. So I go online, look at it, and people are saying, oh, you need to get this remote, get this remote. So I bought the remote. That didn't work. Apparently that remote only works to change the regions for DVD. So I sent the player back. Then got another player that supposedly was definitely, because I think it's got to have something called IOPC on it. It said it did. Came, again, wasn't region free, didn't have what it's supposed to have on it. So that's gone back now, so I'm kind of just waiting now. So if anyone's got any suggestions of what ones are definitely region free, it would be much appreciated, because there are a few films here that I bought because I've really wanted to watch them, and I can't watch them because they won't play because they're region A locked. But the majority of these aren't, luckily, so I managed to watch some of them. So the first one I got, Miss Congeniality 1 and 2. First one's a great comedy film. The second one was okay. It was alright, funny in bits, but not as good as the first. Just trying to find space now. Then we have Timeline, which was directed by Richard Donner, which I watched last week. This was entertaining. It was a fun watch. Basically, they got to go back in time to like 13th century, or rather 14th century France, to save Billy Connolly, who's Paul Walker's character's dad. They're like historians, like scientists. It was entertaining for what it was. Then we have White Noise with Michael Keaton, which I actually really enjoyed. From what I hear, this was the film that kick-started horror films being released in January, because it did really well. And now we seem to get a horror film specifically from Universal every January. Obviously this year we got Megan, which has been a huge hit. But yeah, Michael Keaton's really good in this, and I thought it was a really underrated film. Then we have Revenge of the Nerds, which I really liked, thought was really funny, and I was surprised I hadn't actually seen it before. Then we have The Soloist with Robert Downey Jr. and Jamie Foxx. I'll be honest, I thought this was okay. It wasn't great. The performances were quite strong, but it didn't do a lot for me. It was just okay, I think. Then we have Breakthrough, which is a film I really like. I saw this a long time ago, and then I've watched it again since I've had it on Blu-ray. Yeah, it's just a good film. Really good, moving film. Then we have The Good Lie with Reese Witherspoon, based on a true story. This was really good, really interesting, about the lost boys of Sudan, who in the 80s, they were like orphans, and they were brought over to America and adopted. Yeah, really interesting film that was. Then we have a Mill Creek release. If you want to know, as far as I've come across so far, Mill Creek releases are region free. So if you're planning on getting any that you're interested in like this, you're safe too, because the ones that I've got so far I've tested, and they do work on all players. So yeah, Postcards from the Edge, thought was a really good film. You have Joyful Noise. Again, this one actually surprised me quite a bit. I thought this was just going to be a very bland, average film. But it actually had a lot of heart to it. It was very funny, heartwarming, and yeah, definitely a good watch. Then we have August Rush. Again, really good film. I'm not going to go into any of these, but it's about a young boy. I'm not going to go into them too much rather. It's about a young boy that's orphaned, and he's trying to find his parents through music. Then we have 42 with Chadwick Boseman and Harrison Ford, based on the story of Jackie Robinson, obviously, who was number 42. Yeah, this is a really good sports film. I like sports films, although I don't like sports. I've said this many times, very strange, but it's true, probably because they're inspirational. But yeah, really enjoyed that one. And we also have McFarland USA with Kevin Costner, another good sports film. A Disney film as well. Enjoyed that one. And these next three are the ones that don't work, which annoy me. So these are the ones I'm waiting to watch to get a region free player for, but these are the only ones that I've got so far, touch wood, that don't work. So first up is Super Troopers 1 and 2. I've not actually tested the second one, but I want to watch the first one before I rewatch the second one, and that just doesn't work. But the second one I really like, thought was really funny. So we've got that one. Then we have Uptown Girls, very blind buy. It was quite expensive, I'll be honest. It was almost 20 quid. But yeah, I enjoyed it. What am I saying? I enjoyed it. I've not seen it yet. I like the look of it, should I rather say. But yeah, I have to obviously wait to see that one. And one that I've been waiting to see for a long time, because it just sounds right up my street and has a fantastic cast, and that is Chances Are, with Robert Downey Jr., Ryan O'Neal, Sybil Shepherd, Mary Stuart Masterson, Christopher McDonald, and it's like a rom-com from the late 80s. It just looks sweet, heartwarming, so I'm looking forward to checking that one out when I can. And then the last little pile, that's going to all fall over. Let me try and tidy this up a minute. There we go. Last little pile here. We have Life of the Party with Melissa McCarthy. I like Melissa McCarthy, so decided to get that one. We have Brian Banks, another inspirational true story. We have Our Brand is Crisis with Sandra Bullock. We have Chips. I'm literally just going to fire through these. Fist Fight. The Art of Racing in the Rain. Proud Mary, The Kitchen, Tag, Major League, Made in Manhattan. This one came today, was cheap. Shout out to Neil Hill, who's on the Big Paulie Facebook group, who pointed this out yesterday, the day before. It was like £7 on Amazon Spain for all three. This is the Mill Creek release for all three films. Blind buy completely for me, but worth it, I think, hopefully. This one is a knockoff. I know this is not legit because the actual Blu-ray isn't region free, and it says that this is. But it doesn't bother me because I tested it and it plays, and that is Sparkle. And I got this because it's the final film with Whitney Houston in. So I just wanted to see what it was like. And the final film is The Last Starfighter, which is apparently is a classic from the 80s. So that is it. Before I end the video, I just want to let you know, you're probably wondering, how the hell did I afford to get all of those US imports? Well, I'll let you in on a little secret. There is a alternative to Music Magpie online, which is like an American version of Music Magpie, shall we say, called Declutter, and they basically just sell second-hand Blu-rays, and they are very cheap for American imports. Majority of those I got for under £10. For instance, I got, not that they've come yet, but they'll be shown in the next video, I got the Shanghai Noon and Nights double pack, which goes for about 25-30 quid anywhere else you try and get it. I got it for 10 quid on this Declutter. You can get a lot of really great stuff on there. I got that Uptown Girls on there for about 15 quid. It's an Olive Films release, so anywhere else it'd be about 30 quid. So definitely check it out if you want to get some American imports in your collection, because that's what I've been doing over the last few months, because there are a lot of films that unfortunately aren't ever going to probably get released over here that I really want to own. So I just went for it and bought them. So if you're interested in any of them, I would say just go for it. But this video's gone on long enough. one thing I will ask you to do is like the video if you did like it. If you didn't like it, then you don't have to like it. Obviously, I don't expect anyone to. I don't even expect anyone to get to this point, to be honest, because it's a very long video. Comment down below. What do you think I should push to the top of my watch list of the ones that I've said I've not watched? Because there are a lot here. A lot of them I've still not seen. A lot of them I have seen. What series do you think I should start next of the HBO ones I got? Let me know anything and everything down below in the comments. And that is it. Until next time, everyone. Take care. Goodbye.